playing together, everybody running together.
And we are underway in preseason game number 1 as Keaton Mitchell takes the kick across the 25, hit at the 30, and it'll be stopped there.
The additions to make a deep run into the postseason.
Keaton Mitchell will carry on first down, looks off of the left guard, but no room there as he is taken down after no gain. First pass attempt to the preseason, going to the far sideline, and it is intercepted, but a penalty flag is down. Dayton Wade was the target. The interception for Indy. Will it stand? Take a look, Rod.
He just ran an inside fade. They're both getting their hands on him. He did get his hands on the receiver down the field.
Or the majority of the first half before Daniel Jones takes the field. Richardson on first down, off the play fake. Has time, and he throws complete inside the Ravens' 40-yard line.
Really good tackles in open fields.
Anthony Richardson again off the play fake, under pressure, screen to his tight end, and his tight end will take it down to the 30-yard line. A penalty flag is down. And with the Colts offense in retreat, you can tell it won't stand.
Eligible man downfield, offense number 60. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Malachi Starks and Sanusi Kane deep for the Ravens defense. Colts will run the ball for the first time today. That's Tyler Goodson with the carry. He's stopped at the 41-yard line after a gain of only 2. On 2nd and 13, Richardson wants to throw. Over the middle, that's his first-round draft pick, Tyler Warren, reeling it in at the 35-yard line. It'll set up a third down after Malachi Starks makes his first tackle. Nailed down that third safety spot. On 3rd down and 7, Anthony Richardson out of the gun. Ravens rush 4. Richardson, pocket collapsing. His pass is broken up, incomplete. A terrific break on the ball by Jalen Armour Davis. And the kicking team comes on for Indy.
Yeah, Jalen Armour Davis did a tremendous job of sticking to the receiver.
To cap the Colts' first offensive possession. Kick is on the way. It has the distance. And it is good.
When you have expectations that you're going to be in the Super Bowl and you fall short of that, you have that sour taste in your mouth coming back the following year.
Keaton Mitchell's kick return out to the 29-yard line. We're already seeing the give it to Mitchell. Gets through a hole, crosses a 34-yard line, and is drilled out of bounds at the 35 after a game of 6. All of a sudden, the injury left him on the outside looking in. Mitchell will carry again, picks his way through a crowd, but will only get a couple out to the 36-yard line, setting up a third down. Rasheen Ali comes into the backfield on 3rd down and 2. Toss to Ali, left side, and he gets the first down with a second effort.
How do you distribute the football to so many great players?
Cooper Rush will throw, quick release, complete to the near sideline, and that's Tylan Wallace, who is shouldered out of bounds after a 9-yard gain by Jonathan Edwards. Practice squad with the Giants, but now it's to the AFC. Here's Keaton Mitchell on 2nd down, bounces to the outside. There's the burst. He's to the 40, 35, and he's tracked down from behind all the way down to the Indianapolis 28-yard line.
The outside stretch to the right side. He did a great job of dipping inside and then hitting him back out. He slowed down that outside backer, if you see that, and he went right outside, and he's using that speed.
Mitchell remains in the backfield. Off the play fake, Cooper Rush delivers to Charlie Kolar with a completion, and Kolar tumbles down at the 22-yard line. On 2nd down, the give is to Mitchell, right side another hole. He's to the 10, Mitchell to the 5, touchdown Ravens! Keaton Mitchell is back, and the Ravens are in front. Keaton Mitchell taking a hole and then taking over as the Ravens lead at 7-3 on the Ravens Game Day Network. Here's 6th-round draft pick Tyler Loop with the extra point attempt, and Loop is right through the uprights and good. And he has not learned the lesson yet, as that one will be set the 35-yard line. You heard about Bitcoin yet? It's an upside-down world. On 1st down, the Colts will go to the ground game, and the Ravens will have none of it.
Listen, the #1 rush defense in the National Football League.
Led the Colts to a field goal drive in the opening touch. And he's under pressure. Buried by David Njoku back at the 26-yard line. Roddy came clean off the edge, and Anthony Richardson is heading to the sideline. He's in pain.
Oh, he is right there. He's coming off that edge, and he is going to come unblocked. Oh, only thing I would love is
as the Colts are looking at a 3rd and 18, they'll go to the inside handoff. Giddens will work his way across the 30, far shy of the first down, and Indy will punt the ball for the first time tonight. He looked healthy there. Rigoberto Sanchez will punt it, and that's the rookie. LeJonte Wester bounces off the crowd, tries to pick his way through the crowd, still on his feet, and he finds some room to run down the far sideline. LeJonte Wester. Cooper Rush continuing at quarterback off the play fake on first down. His screen pass is broken up, intended for Rasheen Ali. Cooper Rush bunching 3 receivers to the left. He'll hand it off to Ali, and he is taken down for a loss. Pocket collapsing, and Cooper Rush is taken to the turf all the way back at the 35-yard line. And that time it was Adetomiwa at a ball.
It's hard to recover.
Jordan Stout hits a booming punt, hangs in the autumn air, fielded at the 15. And a nice return by Anthony Gould, breaks a tackle and gets it all the way out to the Jones to throw. Fires a strike to the rookie tight end, Tyler Warren, and Warren is wrestled out of bounds after he picks up a first down. 1st and 10. Jones off the play fake, almost intercepted. Nice break on the ball. Inside handoff. And that time the Ravens defense stout after a short gain for DJ Giddens, physically and metaphorically. 3rd down and 7 for the Colts. Daniel Jones, pocket collapsing, and Jones is sacked back at the 38-yard line.
Green, was it Green?
Adisa Isaac and Mike Green meeting at the intersection of Daniel and Jones.
I mean, they came off the edges, opposite sides, and Green got there first, but Isaac got him down, and that's a good.
As Rigoberto Sanchez will punt to Ravens rookie LeJonte Wester. Wester had a 17-yard return on his first try. Fields this one cleanly. And again he's got an alley. Wester at the 30. 2 men to beat. Wester could be gone.
He's gone.
Midfield and rolling. And the rookie 6th-round draft pick will take it to the house. LeJonte Wester, 87 yards. And he delights this Ravens crowd in the preseason opener.
Field of grain. Find that open field, and once he gets that last guy, once you get past the punter, that's a touchdown.
TJ Tampa with the last block on the punter, Rigoberto. And Tyler Loop is good. There's a young man who's enjoying the start of his career. Tyler Loop gets the job done, dropping the ball down inside the 10. And the return by Tyler, check that, DJ Giddens. 1st and 10, Indy. Ball just shy of the 30. Daniel Jones throws a strike to Tyler Warren, and Warren is out across midfield as the rookie from Penn State will move the chains into Ravens territory at the start of the Indianapolis drive. Jones swings it out of the backfield, incomplete. Now it's take 2 for Jones and Indy. His pass is complete at the Ravens 40-yard line. Coming down with a grab is Ashton Dulin. Final minute and a half of the opening quarter. And a second effort by DJ Giddens will move the chain for the Colts. 2 young inside linebackers, Trenton Simpson, Teddy Buchanan for the Ravens. Daniel Jones with plenty of time. He's got a strike, and he's got a completion down to the 15-yard line.
But they still got to get the depth to help that safety out.
Colts in the Old Bay red zone for the first time tonight. Pass incomplete. On 2nd down, Daniel Jones lost for the end zone. It sails incomplete.
Great job by Tampa.
Jones to throw. Fires to the end zone, incomplete. Contact, but no flag. But a Ravens shaken up at the end of that play. Schrader's 33-yard kick is up, and it is good. in the first 4 games.
Which is always tough. Cleveland always plays them well.
Here's Keaton Mitchell from inside the 5. Looking for an alley, sidesteps 1 tackle. And is ushered out of bounds at the 25. So we've seen some flash now from the young returners. Devin Leary now comes in at quarterback, so it will be Leary's game the rest of the way as Keaton Mitchell bursts through the line and picks up 9 yards to close out the opening quarter. 1 quarter done. Ravens start the quarter. 2nd and 1. Here's Keaton Mitchell. Nice. Spins out of a tackle and picks up the first down. Devin Leary at quarterback now for the Ravens. Off the play fake. Leary with good protection near side, and it's broken up, but a flag is down. Leary, a 6th-round pick a year ago, spent last year on the Ravens practice squad.
Pass interference. Defense number 33. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic foul.
Ali will get the carry. Steps out of 1 tackle. Works his way inside the 40. And is down to the Indianapolis 36. Nice piece of running for a gain of about 7. It's Keaton Mitchell returning to the backfield. And Mitchell will carry. Bounces off a big hit. And still picks up about 2 yards. It's just classic virtual reality. Here's Rasheen Ali, stuffed right at the line. I believe he's going to be short.
He's going to be short.
This might be the tush push. It is. And that will get the Ravens the first down.
Leather helmets.
On first down, Ali cuts back, but he won't get far. Only a yard on the play.
Did they have mouthpiece back in the day?
Mid-50s at full face mask came into play. On 2nd down, Leary to throw. Far sideline. It is caught, but ruled.
Interference. Defense number 35. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Keaton Mitchell sweeping to the right. Steps out of 1 arm tackle. And fights his way forward for keep Kirkwood in motion. Leary with time. Back end zone. Overthrew Tez Walker, who was open in the back of the end zone, but Leary had too much air under the ball. Indy rushes 4. Leary tries to escape. He throws. Intercepted. Picked off at the 10-yard line. Devin Leary with a costly red zone interception, and the veteran Joe Bocci comes up with a pick. 6th-year veteran for the Colts ends the Ravens. So Daniel Jones continues at quarterback for Indianapolis. On first down, Jones off the play fake. Throws complete to his tight end out to the 16-yard line. And that's Andrew Ogletree with the reception. Tyler Goodson with the carry, and he'll be stopped right at the first down marker.
They're going to play the best football down the stretch.
On 3rd down and 1. Tyler Goodson picks up the first down. We'll head down to the sidelines. Evan Washburn standing by with Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson.
What did you take away from that experience personally, and as that first-team offense got some real work in?
Yeah, I believe we did pretty good. You know, we're not showing everything, you know, because we don't know if we might see those guys in the long run. But we got a pretty good work. We got pretty good work. Right where I need to be. That's all.
So if you're just getting started, what do you have in store this season, leading this offense, but this team too?
On 3rd down, Daniel Jones, after a pair of incompletions, slings it near sideline, and it is broken up. Jalen Armour-Davis. Rigoberto Sanchez will punt. And LeJohntay Wester awaits his 3rd punt return. Flag is down. Wester comes to the near side. And this time he is taken down after about a 5-yard return. Let's get to the bottom of the penalty flag.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team number 39. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
All the things Todd Monken has to think through as this season begins to unfold. That's Dearness Johnson, former Jaguar and Brown running back, getting his first carry of the preseason as a Raven. Part of the Ravens Super Bowl 35 team, a teammate of Rod's that celebrated the Ravens' first ever Super Bowl, as Rasheen Ali will carry to the 17-yard line, setting up a third down. And flags prior to the snap as the Ravens jump the snap count.
False start. Offense number 81. 5-yard penalty. Foul.
Slings it near side, broken up. He was looking for Dayton Wade. And the punt team will come on for the second time tonight as Jordan Stout will have to kick the ball away. Anthony Gould is deep for Indianapolis. Gould will let that one sail out of bounds into the Colt bench area.
You got Teddy Buchanan in the middle.
Trenton Simpson and Teddy Buchanan making a stop there after a gain of 3 as Indy goes to the run game with DJ Giddens. Daniel Jones continues at quarterback for Indy. Jones under pressure, escaping, extending, and his pass is caught at the 30-yard line. An acrobatic catch.
Jones did a great job. And it looked like Arma Davis was trying to figure out who was going to make the play. Was it going to be him? Was it going to be his safety coming in? And neither one made it.
Bo Braid with a shoestring touchdown saving tackle.
Absolutely.
Daniel Jones wanted to throw, but a flag before the play could unfold as Indy is going to be penalized 5.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
He's got his feet back under him. He's been explosive all camp. He's just showing you what he's been doing all through training camp. So it's no surprise to us. We knew he'll have this type of game today. Looking forward to this year.
The Ravens Productions folks did a great job kind of taking us behind the scenes to your off-season workouts. It showed the amount of work you put in to get you ready for a season.
Yeah, I just love getting better, elevating my game year after year, pushing myself to work the hardest. And
they'll bring you to tears and exhaustion just watching him. It's amazing what he does. It's third down and 5 for Indy. Daniel Jones throws, complete, flag down, in for the touchdown reception is Ashton Doolin.
Pass interference on the offense.
Pass interference. Offense number 85. 10-yard penalty. We play third down.
That's the caliber of work Derrick Henry puts in. On third and long, Daniel Jones going for the end zone, and it sails high and incomplete. Good coverage on the play. Spencer Schrader will attempt his third field goal try of the night, this one from 39 yards. Schrader's kick is up, and it is through the uprights and good. And with 2:14 to play in the opening half of the preseason opener.
Through the rigors, and he can be a sounding board for.
And the Ravens kick return. Rasheen Ali has an alley, cuts through the 30-40.
He's gone.
Ali in midfield, tripped up by the kicker. Indy 35, and Rasheen Ali will be taken down inside the 25-yard line. Rodney Thomas with a touchdown-saving tackle for the Colts. And the Ravens special teams continue to focus on the word special.
Oh, man, that was a good run. He
Member of that group as well. Devin Leary delayed handoff. Ernest Johnson taken down after a 3-yard gain, and it brings us to the 2-minute warning.
good in special teams and your offense and defense be solid. You can do a lot of good things in this matchup.
Ernest Johnson with a hole, and he barrels down to the 15-yard line. He'll set up a third down and 1. On 3rd and 1, Ernest Johnson. Nice little hesitation move. He'll pick up the first down. And Indy will use its second timeout with 1:46 left in the half. And Ali is in the backfield. He'll get the carry, patient to the line, sidesteps one tackler and backs his way down to the 10-yard line, but penalty flags follow him to the turf.
Holding, offense number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down. Devin
Leary will hand it to Rasheen Ali, steps out of one tackle. Ali to the 10, to the 5, and he's down to the 3-yard line. Rasheen Ali making a statement that if you're going to talk about the running backs room, you better talk about him too.
A really good burst to get that.
Tonight he's topped those figures. High snap pulled down by Leary. Ali change of direction, and he is in. Touchdown Ravens. Well, Rasheen Ali started it with a kick return. He ends it with the touchdown run.
Touchdown run. You just see him in inside zone run. Just jumps cut to the outside and overpowers the defender to get into the end.
Loop's extra point try is good.
Backside 5 gap, right? So you just never know at times, and the really good runners can see those gaps and get to them.
Loop's kick returned across the 20 to the 30. And Tyler Loop making the tackle at the end of that return by Anthony Gould. Tyler Loop.
And you can hear the name. You can hear Loop. So that's going to be the new thing coming out here.
You'll be one player you immediately associate with that number.
Absolutely.
Colts will go to the ground game. Tyler Goodson gets the carry. Don't get into the body. Just push him out of bounds. Daniel Jones pass complete into Ravens territory. Long snapper Nick Moore having some fun with the rookie kicker as well. Daniel Jones with time in a pocket. He throws incomplete. Broken up by Bo Braid. Ravens up 21-9. Daniel Jones pass is caught. And a good tackle made. 27 seconds left in the half. Daniel Jones pass sails high and incomplete. DJ Tampa had the coverage. The target was Ashton Doolin. Spencer Schrader from 52. Plenty of leg. Off the upright and no good. I'm going to avoid mansplaining this because I don't really know. 15 seconds left. Devin Leary under pressure. Hit. Ball comes loose. That is ruled a fumble. And the Ravens recover it at the 37-yard line. Great hustle by Big Ben Cleveland. And that'll bring us to the end of the first half as time expires. And avoids the touchback. As Indy will return it.
Get outside.
And a flag is down.
During the return, holding, 53, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
A number of bright spots here and maybe some passes in the second half.
As the Colts will start the second half on the ground. Khalil Herbert with the carry for a couple. Ravens with a 4-man rush. Leonard's pass is broken up. Terrific break on the ball. Riley Leonard under pressure, escapes, trying to run, and he will extend for the first down as he lunges across the 30-yard line before Bo Braid can bring him to the turf, but the Colts offense will stay on the field. Riley Leonard kept it on the read option, but Mike Green forced him to go in the other direction. You talk about regretting a decision. The Ravens have big hopes for his future. Riley Leonard off the play fake. He's got his tight end, and that's good for a first down out to midfield, which has been fairly impressive in training camp as well. Riley Leonard will hand it off, and the Ravens defense stout, giving up no yards on the first down run. Have 119 yards rushing. The Colts 43. Riley Leonard under blitz pressure. His pass is knocked down. Terrific play by William Kwenku. Was on the Ravens practice squad a year ago. Bo Braid on the blitz. Pass deflected at the line and it falls incomplete. And that time it was Aeneas Peebles, the 6th-round draft pick out of Virginia Tech, who got his hands on the ball.
Yeah, as he's rushing, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up and you can get those tips and overthrows.
Time it will be Anthony Miller on the receiving end. Signals fair catch and makes it back at the 5-yard line.
But also just recruiting and bringing in the talent that you do have.
Yeah, the Big Ten is by far the best of both worlds. One of the strongest, if not the strongest, academic conferences.
Each year, the roster dictates how you want to play. When you look at the way you built this roster, offensively most notably, what are some things that fans should expect?
In College Park for them as Devin Leary's pass is batted down in the end zone. And the Ravens are looking at a 3rd down. But it matters to the players. Leary on 3rd down, going deep, near side. He was looking for LeJohntay Wester.
Doesn't look like he's moving real fast, but his strides shows jumping on top of you really, really fast as a defender.
Coleman Owen fields the punt by Jordan Stout, and Owen weaves his way across the 45 to the 46 of the Indianapolis Colts.
That's
first
a
down.
good stat right there.
To the air, and a big completion down to the 30-yard line of the Ravens for Baltimore Colt fans. And the tight end jumps for Indy.
Ball start. Offense number 80. 5-yard penalty.
And years later, I looked back and I thought, why was I crying? They were the ones who lost the Super Bowl. Ground game nets little for the Indianapolis Colts. Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, was a huge Colts fan. There's a legendary photo of him meeting Unitas at training camp in Westminster.
Oh, wow.
Riley Leonard's pass is complete to the 26-yard line. Backup quarterback named Ted Marchibroda. Unitas was picked up by the Baltimore Colts. Riley Leonard will scramble for the first down. He's to the 10, he's to the 5, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. Khalil Herbert in the backfield with Riley Leonard. Herbert with a carry. Pushes his way down to about 3. Riley Leonard hands it off and stopped just shy of the goal line. Shotgun formation on 3rd and inches. Riley Leonard hands it off. Waiting for a signal, and there it is. Touchdown Indianapolis as Khalil Herbert breaks the plane, and the Colts have their first touchdown of the night. Trujillo's kick is right down the middle and good. Ravens kick return taken by Dayton Wade across the 20 out to the 25-yard line. Leary off the play fake, has time. His pass is caught by LeJonte Wester. Took a big hit, held on. He'll get 11 yards and a first down. You could not ask for two different styles of head coaching. Leary lofts it near side, and that one sails incomplete. He was looking for Keith Kirkwood. Ernest Johnson in the backfield. He'll get the carry out to about the 38-yard line. Let's head down to the field where Evan Washburn standing by with Ravens edge rusher.
It was a clean hit, so it wasn't, high or low, right in the strike zone where you teach. And to start off a game like that, that's how you want to start. The guys making those decisions of finding the talent that they have. The talent we have this year and with the depth is really, really good. I've been impressed. You never know when your time was up. I didn't get picked up after the 2022 season, so I signed here week 3. Lamar Jackson, he's 1-on-1. You also have elite talent from Kyle Hamilton to Roquan Smith, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. I could keep going all day. I could list all my teammates.
From 46 yards, the rookie Tyler Loop, the 6th-round draft pick. His kick is long enough, but it curls wide left, no good. As Ulysses Bentley IV will get the carry. It's Riley Leonard at quarterback, pocket collapsing, and Leonard can't get out of it this time. Inside handoff. Aaron Donald was not the biggest defensive tackle you ever saw.
But he was strong and powerful.
And one of the best you ever saw. Rigoberto Sanchez's punt. Fielded by a fair catch.
Absolutely.
Evan Leary continues at quarterback as Ernest Johnson takes a big hit after a gain to the 12.
He's like
pure chaos. It was pre-digital. Ernest Johnson on the swing pass will only get a couple, setting up a 3rd down and about 5 for the Ravens.
Did they even have a football?
3rd down and 5. Devin Leary trying to stay out of a circle himself. He'll escape the pocket, and he runs for the first down.
He got it.
Johnson with the carry. Steps out of one tackle. Churns his way out to the 25-yard line. That will likely be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Ever since. Leary will hand it to D'Ernest Johnson, and Johnson plows his way out to the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
With those two individuals.
Very different style of players. And the Ravens on 3rd and 1 are stuffed. Jordan Stout hits a beauty. He hangs it in the air for Spencer Schrader, who is taken down shy of the 20-yard line. Zach Orr defense took a step in that direction tonight. Riley Leonard with a rollout pass complete out to the 24-yard line. Double tight end look for the Colts. Bentley will carry. Slips through the line, crosses the 30 and out to the 35-yard line as Indianapolis picks up her first. You simulate it in camp all week long, but now you get a chance to actually do it. Bentley around the edge. He's got room to run. Flag is down. Bentley to the Ravens 35.
There's a hole.
Ushered out of bounds.
During the run, holding. Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Thought he got away with it.
Riley Leonard to throw. Wants to throw a screen pass. Twerks it at the feet of his target. Can keep the Colts from converting. Riley Leonard will throw. Blitz pressure coming. Leonard flushed from the pocket. He's in trouble. Hit back at the 5, and he throws it incomplete. That's got to be a grounding. Here comes the verdict.
Oh, there's the flag.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 15. Although the quarterback made it outside the pocket, there was no receiver in the area.
3rd and 38.
Yeah, normally you're just going to run some type of draw inside.
Inside handoff to Ulysses Bentley, the 4th. He'll get out to the 10. The punt team comes on to get after the quarterback. Rigoberto Sanchez punts it to Anthony Miller. Fields it cleanly at the 42. Heads to the far side and is ushered out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Off the play fake. Leary batted down at the line. 3 receivers split to the right. And look out.
Oh,
Leary with the fake.
He kept it.
As D'Ernest Johnson got level. It's got to be the most high pressure job, one of in all of sports.
It is.
Leonard backing away from the pocket, throws complete for a first down just across midfield. As Landon Parker, a rookie out of Troy. Leary on 3rd and 5, pocket collapsing. He'll escape. Can he get the first down? He'll be just shy at the 44-yard line.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
You know, as we
not see each other in the regular season. Owen settles under it with a fair catch, and he makes it in front of Bo Braid. He'll hand it off in a big hole for Ulysses Bentley. This is the year he breaks through and becomes a Pro Bowl player.
Absolutely. They have the pieces.
And don't forget David Ajabo, we saw with the big sack in the first half. Nice catch.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Completed pass. Baltimore is charged with their first charge timeout and the first challenge of the game.
Trying to put the brakes on Riley Leonard and the Colts offense. Leonard throws complete outside the numbers, and spinning forward for a couple of tough yards is Coleman Owen. Leonard on the rollout, under pressure, throws incomplete. Riley Leonard, pocket collapsing, and his pass is intercepted. Picked off by Jay Higgins. And the Ravens' young defense comes up big. Who had a great play on the run, has an even better play on the pass. Well, he just stepped right into the passing lane, didn't he?
And I don't even know if... I know he was trying to get the ball to... How old is that?
Probably Kyle Van Noy.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's about... I would match her just about the same age. D'Ernest Johnson with a nice run inside the 30-yard line as the Ravens look to put the seal on this win.
And we just found out that Kyle Van Noy is older than his defensive coordinator.
I can believe that. Power I formation for the Ravens, and D'Ernest Johnson will get the carry.
Yep.
It would not surprise me to see that become the future for Zach Orr.
Offense number 78, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
The other player who on the Ravens defense is older than Zach Orr is Brent Urban.
Is he?
Did you ever play for a coach who was younger than you?
No, I was not a Hall of Famer at that moment.
Yes, you were. It was at that moment it was a given. But by the time you came to Baltimore, it was a given. Loop from 52. Kick on the way. It has plenty of distance. It is right down the middle and good. Tyler Loop from 52. In the NFL, it's a different shape ball, so you have to have a different strike point, a different approach. It's a very different game. Colt kick return will take the ball to the 25-yard line. Let's take another look at that kick from Tyler Loop.
And I wonder, I mean, every kicker has his point. Like, is he a right hash kicker, middle of the field kicker, left hash kicker? And once he gets that point, because I remember that the field goal that he missed, I would believe it was in the middle of the field. He pulled it a little bit. Texas.
So a home game for the Ravens will have almost 10 times as many people as he grew up with in his hometown. I mean, that's a big lead for a young man. And he is the guy who is replacing the guy. Riley Leonard's pass is batted down. Nice play by TJ Tampa. Riley Leonard on 2nd down and 10. Ravens bring blitz pressure, and Leonard's pass, big hit. Terrific hit off the corner from Marquise Robinson, the rookie out of Arkansas. Ravens showing more blitz pressure. They'll bring a little bit, and Riley Leonard's pass is complete to the 42, and that's going to be shy of the first down.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for Indianapolis at the 46-yard line.
So he didn't have to challenge it. Riley Leonard to throw. His pass is caught. Big hit at midfield. Leonard on 2nd and 5 with 2:17 left to play. His pass is caught at the 45, and that'll be good for a 1st down. As Marquise Robinson comes up and makes the stop. 1st down where you have to get the ball to, and that's the technology that is now going to be used to measure 1st down. To the ground game, and this will be a 1st down and plenty all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Trying to bring it together and see which of the young players can make a play in a critical situation. Riley Leonard with time. His pass is complete down to the 23-yard line. Colts might have something here. His pass is batted down at the line. C.J. Ravenel got a hand on the ball. Riley Leonard in the gun. Ravens rush 4. Leonard throws. His pass incomplete. No flag at the 10-yard line. Good coverage.
Watch the running back coming out of the backfield. He's open.
Leonard's pass is deflected at the line. And the Ravens will take over on downs. Head coach Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. Football is such a small world. Kirk Ferentz was the Ravens' first offensive line coach under Ted Marchibroda when the Ravens first came to town 30 years ago. And that was the year that Kirk Ferentz went on to become the head coach at Iowa. Ernest Johnson will carry for the Ravens. He'll get it out close to the 30-yard line. Ernest Johnson will carry to the right side, backs his way to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short. He had a 4,000-yard passing yard last year. And Ernest Johnson will carry. He should have the 1st down. He does.
3rd final charge, timeout.
But to talk about the offense a year ago, first NFL offense in the history of the league to have 4,000 yards passing, 3,000 yards rushing in the same season. Rashad Bateman all talking about his maturity. And that'll do it for the Ravens as this one goes in the win column. Our final score, Ravens 24, Colts 16.
Now you just got to keep finding your backup offensive lineman. I think you got to find your 3rd safety and who's going to be that 4th corner.